All right, sorry guys, we're having some technical difficulties over here. Let's see if we can restart our live feed here. We'll give you guys a minute. Go ahead and take a look at some of our girls who are ready to listen and hear some stories. Grace says, who's coming to read to me?
No, they miss you guys.
Sorry again about the technical difficulties, friends. Thank you so much for sticking around and being patient with us as we try and get this worked out. I know just with everything lately, we've all been having issues with Wi-Fi and cellular data. So we are going to go over to Greg, who is going to be reading to Tinkerbell.
Hi everyone. I'm going to be reading from a book of poetry I have. I'm a really big fan of poetry, especially some of the ones that use language a little more flexible than your normal stories. Some authors even like to make up their own words. And if you've read Alice in Wonderland or seen any of the movies, you may be familiar with this line of poetry. There's even an excerpt at the end where Alice is speaking to Humpty Dumpty, and he tries to explain some of the poem to her. This poem is called Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrave. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with his head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, Kelloo, Kellay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrave. And in the novel, Alice Through the Looking Glass, Alice encounters Humpty Dumpty sitting on a wall. And she says, "You seem very clever, sir, at explaining words. Would you kindly tell me the meaning of the poem called Jabberwocky?" "Let's hear it," said Humpty Dumpty. "I can explain all the poems that ever were invented that haven't been invented yet." This sounded very hopeful, so Alice repeated the first verse. "'Twas brillig in the slithy toves, did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrave." "That's enough to begin with," Humpty Dumpty interrupted. "There are plenty of hard words there. Brillig means 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Brillig means 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the time when you begin broiling things for dinner." "That will do very well," said Alice. "And slithy?" "Well, slithy means lithe and slimy. Lithe is the same as active. You see, it's like a portmanteau. There are 2 meanings packed up into one word." "I see it now," Alice remarked thoughtfully. "And what are toves?" "Well, toves are something like badgers. They're something like lizards. And they're something like corkscrews." "Well, they must be very curious-looking creatures." "They are at that," said Humpty Dumpty. "Also, they make their nest under sundials. Also, they live on cheese." And what's to gyre and to gimble?" "To gyre is to go around like a gyroscope. And to gimble is to make holes like a gimlet." "And the wabe?" "The wabe is the grass plot round a sundial, I suppose," said Alice, surprised at her own ingenuity. "Well, of course it is. It's called wabe, you know, because it goes a long way before it, and a long way behind it." long way beyond it on each side, Alice added. Exactly so. Well then, Mimsy is flimsy and miserable. There's another portmanteau for you. And a Boragove is a thin, shabby-looking bird with its feathers sticking out all round, something like a live mop. And then Mome Wraiths? Asked Alice. I'm afraid I'm giving you a great deal of trouble. Well, a wrath is a sort of green pig, but Mome, I'm not certain about. I think it's short for from home, meaning they'd lost their way, you know? And what does outgrabe mean? Well, outgribing is something between bellowing and whistling, with a kind of sneeze in the middle. However, you'll hear it done, maybe, down in the wood yonder. And once you've heard it, you'll be quite content. Who's been repeating all that hard stuff to you? So that's just a little bit of Alice and Humpty Dumpty's discussion about the poem Jabberwocky. I hope you enjoyed it. I love the fun words, the weird combinations of words. One of my favorite kind of poems. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Greg and Tinkerbell. All right, and we are going to head back out to the arena for round 2 of our horse trivia. Greg. All right, friends, so Willie kind of spilled the beans again about what round 2 is going to be about. So we're going to look at some of the tack that we use during our lessons, and that's going to be some of the questions during round 2. So typically we use these types of saddles during our lessons. So can anybody tell me what type of saddle this is? What would we call this type of saddle? I'll give you a hint. It's not Western. It's not German.
German?
Nor is it French.
No Espanol?
So then, when we put the saddle on our horse, many of you have noticed we attach this to our saddle and it goes around the horse. What is this called? So question 2 of round 2 is, what is this piece called? So, and remember, you can answer during our live feed. We also will have this up, and I will be looking at all answers posted through midnight tonight.
Owen and Ava hazarded a guess for the saddle.
Awesome.
And Matt Davis gave a guess for that part.
Awesome. Way to go. I love seeing all those responses. All right, so then we also have this piece. What is all of this called together that we put over the horse's head? So question 3 would be all of this together. It goes over the horse's head.
Matt Davis had another guess for that.
Awesome. There you go, Matt.
Good job. All right.
Question 4 is, what is this piece that goes in the horse's mouth called?
Let's get a little closer on that. Do you know what that piece is? All right, we're getting some guesses in here. All right. Looks like it's down to a battle of wits between Matt and Owen and Ava.
Awesome. And then our next question, when we put this on our horse, I'll turn this around. This is the part that we hold on to. It's one of our aids that we use to help tell our horse where to go. What is this part called?
What are those called?
And I'll give a bonus and entry to any of our students or anyone on there that can name 2 other aids we use when we ask our horse to move. So if you can name at least 2 other aids that we use when we ask our horse to move, I'll give you a bonus entry.
All right, we've got some responses coming in. Good job, guys.
Awesome. Stay tuned for our final round. We have one more read aloud at 3, and we have our bonus round for trivia. And before then, we have another special guest reader that sent in a video with her horse, and many of you may have met her back in October, so make sure to check that out as well.
All right, thanks, guys.